UO.com/SPORTS.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
I'm Christine Lisi. Nearly 4 years after acquiring Tyreek Hill in a blockbuster trade from the Chiefs, the Dolphins released the soon-to-be 32-year-old receiver. Hill, one of the NFL's most productive receivers a couple of years ago, missed most of last season with a dislocated knee and torn ACL. ESPN NFL analyst Mina Kimes.
There's a lot of questions around Hill right now. 32 years old, or going to be 32 next season, coming off of the ACL. Game is really predicated on elite speed, so there's questions about whether or not he'll be able to hit that speed moving forward as he ages, obviously. Brings some baggage off the field as well. He's not the right player for every team.
Hill's released one of a series of moves by new GM John Eric Sullivan to save significant salary cap space. The Dolphins still need to make a decision this offseason on quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Browns hired Falcons defensive passing game coordinator Mike Rutenberg as their new defensive coordinator. Mike Trout told reporters he'd like to return to center field for the Angels this season. Also said he'll be skipping the World Baseball Classic because of insurance issues. He's been plagued by injuries the last 5 seasons.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, the Cowboys intend to franchise tag George Pickens. I'll tell you why their best option is to trade him away. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running, hour number 2. After further review here on a Lundy Gras edition presented by Relief Windows. Musso in for Moscona. Scone is back tomorrow. 1 hour in the books, man. Great conversation with Sarah Bairstow of Louisiana LNG for Woodside Energy. She's the president over there. We've already talked some baseball. We'll talk plenty more baseball throughout the show. Doug Thompson, LSU Sports Radio Network, former Tiger national champion pitcher. He'll be here at the bottom of this hour to recap the opening weekend and give us a scene setter for tonight's game against Kent State. Some Saints draft talk coming up here in about, call it 13, 14 minutes. Right now, we're going to talk about the LSU starting pitchers, but first, Matt's going to tell you about Shaw Bills.
Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They will always find a way to get you the best possible price for the best possible tires on the road. That's what they do at Shaw Bills. And when they get you in by selling you the best tires, the cheapest price possible, they're going to treat you like family, and they're going to treat you so good you're going to keep coming back year after year after year every time you need anything for your vehicle. Tires rotated, oil changed, check engine light on, brakes squeaking, whatever's wrong with your vehicle, bring it to Shaw Bills. Let them give it the once-over, and you can always schedule online, so it's convenient. ShawBillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Shop tires online at ShawBillsTire.com. Be sure to ask about the Shaw Bills credit card as well, because you can save $50 off your first purchase when you use the Shaw Bills credit card only at Shaw Bills.
All right. Let's talk about the LSU starting rotation from the opening weekend against Milwaukee. We talked about it briefly in the first segment of the show, but I want to go deeper because this is a very important thing for LSU in 2026. When I did the first Moose of the Box podcast of the season, it was January the 12th, and it was just a quick little 3 things to watch as LSU goes through the preseason period. The number one thing out of my mouth was the starting rotation. You have to get that right. And I think the guys LSU has in it are the guys that give you the best chance to get it right and be your most dominant. Not to get it right and compete for a national championship, to get it right and be your most dominant. That is Kason Evans, Cooper Moore, William Schmidt in some order. You saw some good. from Evans and Schmidt. You also saw some bad. You saw flawlessness basically from Cooper Moore. But ultimately, as my thing was for the entire weekend, you saw a lot to build on. Let's take it guy one by one, and we'll start on Friday with Kason Evans. Kason Evans for 3 innings was dominant. He recorded 9 outs, and 7 of them were strikeouts. He threw more strikes. That's one thing I wanted to see. And Kason Evans, struggles in true starts a year ago, it was a lot of walks. He walked 2. He threw 66% strikes. That's good. That's really good. Now, what I will say is the 2 walks were very bad. The first one, he fell behind 3-1. The second one, he was ahead 1-2 and lost the guy and walked him. That can't happen. He also had a hit batter in there to lead off the 4th, which was his struggle inning. But through 3 innings, he was really good. He just wasn't super efficient. You had deep counts. It wasn't necessarily 3 ball counts, but you saw guys foul pitches off. He had a little struggle getting to that put-away pitch. It's not that he struggled with the put-away pitch. Goodness gracious, he struck out 7. He just had a little struggle getting to that put-away pitch. But the stuff looked really good. The changeup, he finished plenty of guys off with that. You saw him finish with the fastball as well. He didn't have great feel of the slider or the curveball. And that led to some of the inefficiencies, in my opinion, just watching Kason Evans in that spot. And because there was inefficiency, he ends up at 75 pitches through 3 1/3. And I believe that really hurt him in trying to pitch out of that 4th inning. Because quite honestly, when he began the 4th inning, he hit the first batter, which that's a no-no. That is not good. But after that, it was really a little bit of bad luck. The next hitter up was Horn, and he hit one up the middle that bounced about 6 times. It was just in the right spot, right out of Steven Milam's range, and it snuck through. And then Tate Schmidt came up and had a bunt single. Tip your hat. The guy bunted it in the right spot. The LSU even, they didn't review the play at first there, but you end up with the bases loaded off of a hit batter, which is a no-no, and then a dribbler through the infield and a bunt single. Nobody out in the inning. The problem there is you have to be able to limit the damage and pitch around it. LSU had a 2-0 lead at that point. If you give up 2 in that spot, fine. But ultimately what happened is you had the first hard hit ball of the inning that drove in 1. The bases remained loaded, and then you have the 2 RBI double, and at that point you've lost the lead. Evans is shaken up, and I do believe, again, look, that's the second trip through the lineup because the pitch count was so high, because it took him a little bit longer to get to that out pitch, because he didn't have a great feel for the slider or the curveball. He was really limited in what he could throw, and the lack of efficiency, they knew what was coming, and that was a pretty scrappy lineup. Tip your hat to them. They got some hits. But what you have to see in that spot is Kason Evans reach back, grab something extra, and be able to lengthen that outing and pitch around that trouble. Even if you just give up the 2 runs. Say you give up that single, okay, that scores 1. Maybe you get an RBI ground out or a ground ball that ends up in a double play, and that pushes 1 more across, you're able to get out of it. That's the perfect scenario. Much easier said than done. I understand that, and I just told you why I think it went the way that it did. So you need more efficiency there. And that is a big thing in going from reliever to starter, even though you saw him be a long reliever a year ago for LSU. They feel they have brought him along very well. I tend to agree. I think Kason Evans can do this. I do. Because you saw him have success with it from time to time a year ago. But it's a different mindset, and you're going to have to get to that out pitch quicker, which will allow for more efficiency, which I think allows for you to have a better success or a better chance at pitching out of that fourth inning. The stuff is elite. We know that. And that's ultimately why he will be able to have success in this role, I do believe. And again, they feel like they have brought him along well, and there's going to be a leash here. The good news is he's got time. Okay? You saw LSU's bullpen be awesome for the majority of the weekend, where you could just go to guy after guy after guy, and they could do different things, whether it was long relief, matchups, couple pitches here, whatever it was. You have the depth to do that. Now, I will tell you, I don't believe that is sustainable over the course of a 56-game season. I don't. I think when you get into the postseason, that could wane on you a little bit. You've got a lot of innings on those guys. You have to have starters, in my opinion, to win at the highest level in college baseball, get you deep into games. Casey Evans is capable of that, but it is a work in progress. There is stuff to build on, and it is those 3 innings and learning from maybe not being as efficient and having to have the struggles that you did in that fourth inning. We'll see how it goes. Cooper Moore was phenomenal. He was sensational. He checked every box that he had checked from the fall through the preseason when he was your best pitcher. Loved the fastball velocity. It was a little stronger than I thought. The changeup is as filthy as we had all heard about. And candidly, that was the first time I got to watch Cooper Moore in person because I missed every single one of his scrimmage starts. And I was blown away. You're looking at 5 pitches for a strike. He had them completely off balance. And again, the fastball got up to 94, really sat 91, 93, but got up to 94 at times. And outside of that changeup, I loved the curveball that he had. Sat in the mid-70s. He could flip it over easy for a strike. He threw all 5 pitches for a strike, as a matter of fact. The slider's got a nice firmness to it. The way he's able to mix, he can get anybody out in the country. That guy is not coming out of your rotation, and I think he could pitch in any spot for you. You would prefer him to be Saturday or Sunday in that rotation, Saturday or Sunday, just because it is a different look, because it's 5 pitches for strikes and not the overpowering stuff that you would see from a Casey Evans, from a William Schmidt, pick anyone else you want. It's the different look. Not having a lefty in the rotation right now is buoyed by Cooper Moore being such a different look than the first 2 guys. He threw 80% strikes, y'all. That is ridiculous. 80% strikes. Get out. What are you talking about? That's unheard of. He made 1 bad pitch. Kid hit it out of the park. Kind of ambushed him. That's going to happen. But you feel real good about that rotation piece. Now you can build around him. Because that's a guy who knows how to pitch. And because of that, he can get anyone in the country out. And he'll have success throughout LSU season in the SEC. Cooper Moore, I thought, was just fantastic. Loved the ability to finish with the changeup and the fastball. And he pitched backwards a lot in that game, too, on Saturday. You saw him plenty start guys with the off speed. He had a great feel for it and really, really had Milwaukee in that lineup in his back pocket the entire game. William Schmidt. Some good, some bad, a lot to build on. The first inning, he gives up the homer. A guy ambushed a fastball. Loved the bounce back from him after that when you saw him not allow anything else. That was very easily a spot he could get shaken up with. Didn't. In the third inning, loads the bases. LSU had given him a lead at that point, 3-1. He loads the bases. Was a strike away from pitching out of it without allowing a run. Gives up the double, but ultimately comes back and ends that third inning with a pop-up to shortstop, gets ahead 0-2, gets the pop-up, and you limit the damage and you keep the game tied. The guy ambushed that fastball in the first inning. From that point on, William Schmidt never gave up the lead. That's massive. That's my takeaway, is he was able to limit the damage, and not only that, come back out in the fourth and give you a shutdown 0 and end his outing on a high note for confidence. There's stuff to build on. There has to be more strikes. 91 pitches, 50-something strikes, that's not good enough. 3 walks, that number has to come down. It's going to happen when he can land the breaking balls consistently, both the curve and the slider. That was the same conversation we had about him a year ago. We're having that conversation again here. But you did see growth in him being able to limit damage, pitch out of situations, which he was not able to do a year ago because in the conference, he walked 11 guys in 2 innings. The stuff, you don't get more elite stuff than you have in William Schmidt. Efficiency with him is going to be a thing, and more consistency in the strike zone is going to be a thing. But ultimately, some good, some bad, a lot to build on there. There's a canvas that you feel pretty good about. So, in short, you feel great about Cooper Moore, and you can build around him in your rotation. And right now, you're going to work to do that with Evans and Schmidt and getting them more efficient and able to pitch out of jams and elongate their starts. Another weekend, it'll be some tougher competition with 4 Power 4 opponents out there in Jacksonville. Okay, we're going to grab a break. We will come back on the other side. It's After Further Review here, presented by Relief Windows. Saints, wide receivers, a big target for them in the draft. But does it have to be in the first round? We'll talk about that next here on AFR.
AFR.
If you fill up Tiger Stadium 15 times, that'd be roughly 1.5 million people. That's how many realtors there are in the United States. Darren James ranked number 14 in the country when it comes to the numbers of homes sold. That's Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list. Think about what I just said. Fill up Tiger Stadium 15 times, and of all those people, Darren James ranked number 14. You need to get to a closing table. You need to sell your home fast for the most amount of money. You need the absolute best customer service experience with constant communication and results. Well, you need Darren James. So, call Darren. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666. That's Darren Sell. Or go to agent225.com, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bring your backyard to life with a pool from Renaissance. Known for custom craftsmanship and one-on-one attention, Renaissance Home and Pools turns your vision into reality. Owner Joey Blanchard brings 20 years experience and cutting-edge 3D designs, so you'll know exactly what to expect every step of the way, from the first sketch to your first swim. Renaissance delivers pools built to inspire and to have fun in. Visit builtbyrenaissance.com and let your backyard renaissance begin.
One of the most recognizable voices in country music.
On that long black train.
Josh Turner, This Country Music Thing Tour.
I need a pretty little hometown.
Friday, February 20th. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8. La Berge, Baton Rouge. On sale now at Ticketmaster. Must be 21 to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Josh Turner, live in partnership with World Vision.
Did you hear that? That's a propane burner firing up another delicious outdoor seafood boil. I'm Miss Louisiana Gabrielle McLeod with some safety messages when cooking seafood outdoors. First, make sure your propane burner is at least 10 feet from anything flammable. Place thawed seafood in the pot, cover your shrimp, crab, crawfish, and fixings and leave 2 inches of space at the top of your pot. And don't forget the seasonings. Remove your seafood and set it aside so it drains. Then heat the water to the appropriate temperature. Turn the propane off at the tank and gently lower your pot using gloves or mitts. Then fire up your burner and cook as directed. Don't forget to turn off your burner before removing your seafood. Now sit back and enjoy another fabulous Louisiana feast.
Fuel for our future.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod, Miss Louisiana. For more delicious safety tips, go to louisianapropane.com.
Running a facility is already demanding. You don't have time for miscleaning, sick days, or inconsistent results. At Janney King Gulf Coast, we have a proven method to solve those problems. Our franchise owners are trained and supported, and our franchise model means the people cleaning your building care about the outcome as much as you do. If your cleaning company is creating more work instead of preventing it, it's time for a clean that you can count on. Visit JannyKingCleans.com to learn more.
Janney King, the king of clean.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are back with another major sweepstakes in 2026. This time, we want to cover your car payments.
Sweet! That's awesome.
It's a $5,000 grand prize with a bonus chance to win free car washes from Benny's Car Wash for 6 months. We're also letting you earn extra entries by subscribing to our LouisianaSports.net daily newsletter. To sign up, visit 1045ESPN.com. From Citizens Bank, Benny's Car Wash, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, as we say, together we roar. Part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System. And, you know, I love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake because whenever we talk about healthcare, Our Lady of the Lake understands the two things primarily that people want are access and convenience. And they knock that out of the park. Whether it be at the Regional Medical Center, if it's the Lake After Hours, if it's any of the specialty services that you may need, heart, stroke, cancer, pediatrics, you want the best. You want Our Lady of the Lake. You can learn more about the Championship Health Partnership, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar.
NFL draft fast approaching here. I mean, look, the scouting combine gets underway next week. So, I mean, you've hit mid-February, scouting combine, you'll have pro days, and then, boom, you're at the NFL draft come late April. For the New Orleans Saints, you've seen a variety of different things that people are projecting. Wide receiver is a huge need, and you have seen the Saints be mocked to take Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson at 8 overall. If it's not one of those two, it's been Jeremiah Love. Wide receiver is a very interesting position in the draft because it is one where you can get top-flight talent who can be your franchise guys right there in the first round, but also find great value later on day 2 and day 3 in the NFL draft. Not every position is like that. Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net today has a great piece up looking at those top guys like Tyson and Tate, but also players that you might see taken on day 2 and how this thing kind of goes for the New Orleans Saints. There's a couple ways to look at that. Say they take Jeremiah Love 8 overall. Okay, well, then you're going to be looking for value at wide receiver unless you trade back into the first round for one, which I can't really, well, I don't want to say I can't imagine them doing that. Mickey Loomis would absolutely do that. But that might not be your best path forward with a wide receiver because of some of the options we're about to go through. Also, you know, it was interesting. We had Scott Shanley on the show a week ago and asked him kind of about wide receiver in the draft. Is it Chris Olave and a receiver, or is it Chris Olave or receiver? And he said probably one. You know, you pay Olave and then you go somewhere else in the draft. I'm not there because when I look at the New Orleans Saints, I see two proven pass catchers returning on this team, and that's Chris Olave and Juwan Johnson. That's it. I'm not putting Devon Vele in proven pass catcher range yet. He came here hurt, wasn't super productive in Denver, came here hurt, didn't really break out until they finally found a way to get him on the field after they traded Rashid Shaheed, had some nice moments, but then got injured again and missed the rest of the season. So outside of Olave and Juwan Johnson, it's a lot of Kevin Austin Jr. and Dante Pettis and Mason Tipton, and you don't feel great about that. Like, let's be honest. At least you shouldn't feel great about that. Not to say those guys didn't have big moments for you down the stretch in that win streak. They did. But is that sustainable over the course of the whole season? The history of those guys' careers would tell you no. So if you're going to pay Chris Olave, go ahead. But I need receivers in the draft again, and I'll tell you, I'll take multiple. If the New Orleans Saints want to draft Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate, or maybe a guy like Mekhi Lemon there in the first round, sure, do it. And then go get yourself one on day 2 or day 3 as well. And some of those options are really, really intriguing. The first one to look at Ross mentions is Chris Brazzell from Tennessee. Chris Brazzell II is a giant target for one, 6'5", 200 pounds. Love that. He led the SEC in receiving this season at Tennessee. Started his career at Tulane, played 2 years there for the Green Wave in Uptown, went to the Vols, was a rotational guy his first year, and then 62 receptions, over 1,000 yards, led the SEC in receiving. 9 touchdowns. Huge target. Love that. That's a guy you can get on day 2 that I think would be massive for this team, potentially. But wait, there's more. You know, Ross goes on and talks about the need for yard after catch and deep threats. Remember, Shaheed was a great yard after catch guy, as was he a deep threat. The 2 guys he points here, both should be day 2 selections, maybe even a day 3 for a guy like Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell's from Utah. He is one of the most dynamic yard after catch guys in this draft. This is a guy at Utah, 6 foot, 180, at UConn, 6 foot, 185 pounds, caught 101 passes. So for one, he's sure-handed. He leads the 26 wide receiver class in this draft in yards after catch. Of his 101 receptions, half of them were for first downs. About 13 yards per reception, over 830 yak yards, 50 first down catches. That's a guy you can get later in this draft who's got good size and would absolutely check every box for you. Zachariah Branch, kind of in that same vein. His one season at Georgia, caught 81 passes. Sure-handed. Great yards after catch. You're looking at an average per reception of 10 yards. That's a first down every time. And it tracks 81 catches, 811 yards. He also could give you something in the return game as well. Both very elusive, very speedy players. Ross does note, if KC Concepcion were to fall to the second round or second day, he would be a home run. He's mocked late first round just about everywhere, but let's say you get the Wild Hair, you want to trade back into the first round for a receiver because you take Jeremiah Love. That could be a great option. Talk about give you something in the return game as well. The field stretchers is where this gets really interesting. Because you look at a guy that Ross mentions in Brennan Thompson from Mississippi State. He was second in the SEC in receiving, by the way. Speed undeniable. Not the biggest guy, but he's very agile and can beat press coverage that way. You're looking at 5'9", 170 pounds. But if you go back and you look at this, excuse me, I had that backwards. He was the leading receiver in terms of yards in the SEC. Brazzell was second. Either way, they're the top 2 guys. 18.5 yards per reception. That is big play, stretch the field guy. His long on the season was 58. His long for his career, 63. So Brennan Thompson is a guy, day 2, day 3, not going in the first round, where you could get awesome value. Remember, you found Rashid Shaheed, who is now one of the best stretch the field guys in the NFL and return specialists, as an undrafted rookie. There's value all over the place. The last 2 guys are 2 guys from Indiana, and they kind of fall into the sure-handed safety blankets. Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper, both very good, both big targets, both great route runners, and impressive catch radiuses from both of them as well. Elijah Surratt, man, that's a guy that really stands out. He scored 15 touchdowns for that championship Indiana team, 6'2", 209. So, again, big target. You feel really good about that potentially there. But those are just some names. You look, you go, okay, maybe you do take Jeremiah Love. There is plenty of value to be had at wide receiver in this draft in different categories that fit Saints' needs. And for me, like I said, I want you to take a wide receiver with 8. Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon from USC. And then go draft one of these guys, too, on day 2. You know, yeah, you can get yourself hopefully another corner, deep edge rusher class, all of that. There needs to be multiple receivers taken in this draft for the New Orleans Saints. Those are some names just to keep an eye on. Go check out Ross's full piece at louisianasports.net. Everything is free. Ross does a great job. It's like one of 3 articles he's put out today. He's just a machine, and we always enjoy his content and having him on the show. So y'all go to louisianasports.net, read Ross's full piece on the receivers in this draft. We're going to grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. Doug Thompson, former Tiger national champion pitcher. He will join us also of the LSU Sports Radio Network. We'll recap the weekend. Duggar was on the call for all the games, and he'll be on the call tonight for Kent State. Get a brief scene setter of that one. That's next here on AFR, presented by Relief Windows.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, do what injured people in Louisiana have done for more than 30 years. Call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888-8888. It's all 8s. 888-8888. I don't even need to give you the area code because no matter where you are in the state, it doesn't matter. Just dial 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon does an awesome job, man. He's a great person. They've been so invested in our communities with all the charitable and service work that they do. They give back into the communities that they represent, no matter what time of year. If it's the bike giveaway for kids around Christmas time, if it's the laptop giveaway around back to school time, if it's the charitable work they do during October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, they're always involved in the community. We tell you all the time, of course, about the G team and what Gordon's done with NIL and the opportunities that he's afforded student athletes. Just a great, great community partner. If you've been injured, you need representation, go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Now's the time to save at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. We are now open on Highway 61 in St. Francisville, and we are proud to serve you as your new St. Francisville Chevrolet and GMC dealership. Looking for the perfect truck or SUV? We've got a great selection waiting for you, and you can browse our full lineup of new and pre-owned inventory anytime at FabryChevrolet.com. Chevy, together let's drive. GMC, we are professional grade. 2 great brands, 1 destination.
Depression can feel hopeless, draining your energy and joy, but there's a proven way forward. At NeuroJust, TMS therapy is FDA approved, covered by insurance, and backed by 30 years of research. This safe, non-invasive treatment re-engages the parts of your brain tied to mood, with over 85% of patients seeing real results, many achieving full remission. Imagine peace, better sleep, and the freedom to enjoy life again. Start your healing journey today. Visit NeuroJust off Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge or online at neurojust.com.
Banking shouldn't be complicated, and my friends at Gulf Coast Bank and Trust aim to make it feel like a breeze. As one of the largest locally owned banks, they offer the digital capabilities that help make my day-to-day banking convenient and secure with the heart and personal service of a community bank. Get to know Gulf Coast Bank and Trust and coast into better banking. Member FDIC.
Behind every clean lobby, every polished boardroom, every safe, spotless workplace, there's Janie King franchise owner who takes pride in making it happen. These are your neighbors, people who live here, work here, and care about the businesses that shape our community. They show up, they follow through, and they make sure your facility is ready for the day, every day. That's why companies across the community trust Janie King as their local cleaning partner. Visit JannieKingCleans.com today.
Janie King, the king of clean. I took it to TRICARE.
Do you like coming in late, calling in with excuses, showing up with a poor attitude, or not showing up at all? Stay where you are. At TRICARE Automotive, we take pride in our work and our culture. So if you like being challenged, great benefits and pay, every weekend off, and just being your best, take it to TRICARE or visit TRICAREautomotive.com right now.
Ooh, I took it to TRICARE.
Nobody wants roommates that have 6 legs. When bugs show up, call Havard Pest Control. HAVARD. Professional residential and commercial pest control, same-day service, and scheduling that's actually easy. Call 225-341-3189 or visit havardpest.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
ParishBuilt.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Rolling along here after further review on Lundy Graw, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Tigers sweep Milwaukee to open the season. They got Kent State coming to the box tonight, coming off of their own sweep. Doug Thompson, he's on the call for it, as he was for all 3 games of the series. You can hear him there on the LSU Sports Radio Network with Chris Blair, but this weekend it was Patrick Wright. On Twitter at DT9Tigers. Former LSU great Doug Thompson joins the show now. Duggar, how are you?
Doing great, Musa. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It's the best time of the year. It's finally here. It was a long 7 months. Tigers got out there, won 3 games, did it in some different ways, and I'm excited to break it down with you here. And then, of course, get the little brief thumbnail of tonight's matchup. Starting with this weekend, I'd be remiss if I just didn't start with the starting pitchers, Kason Evans, Cooper Moore, and William Schmidt. I'll kind of let you take them in whatever order. I think it's interesting because you have Schmidt and Evans really trying to build on last season, and Cooper Moore just looked phenomenal. I mean, your takeaways as a guy who's pitched in the bullpen and pitched as a starting pitcher, what you saw from those arms?
Yeah, 2 guys. I mean, they didn't have quality starts, but obviously pitched well enough to win. They showed some flashes of dominance. That's obviously Kason Evans and William Schmidt. I mean, obviously their stuff is plenty good enough to win, and they showed that. I mean, between those 2 guys, had close to 20 strikeouts. I mean, but they made some mistakes, and they were a little erratic, and I'm sure all that will clean up. Like, first time out, rarely will you have, your best outing the first time out. Now, Cooper Moore threw his changeup 40% of the time. He threw 28 changeups for 25 strikes, which is off the charts. Like, it's just off the charts. How good his changeup is. He's got 3 or 4 or 5 other pitches that he can throw in there for a strike. He's as polished as they come. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch pitch this year.
You said the issues that you kind of saw with Evans and Schmidt, correct, but how do you go about fixing that? When you're a guy like William Schmidt who didn't get to throw a bunch of innings at the highest level a year ago, Kason Evans obviously did, but was mainly a reliever. You go into that starting role, and it is different with the efficiency there that you're looking for. How do you go about correcting a few of the things that ailed them?
Well, I mean, they're so good now, and they have so much information now to kind of hone in on exactly where they can get better, where they made mistakes. And they'll talk about those things. A lot of it's talking. A lot of it's like, mentally thinking it through and getting coached up. But I mean, there might be some tweaks here or there in the bullpen, but again, I mean, they both struck out buku batters and were plenty good enough to win. Maybe too many pitches, perhaps. Maybe they didn't get ahead enough. I think the first 3 innings when on Friday night, he was ahead most of the time, and he had, 7 strikeouts in the first 3 innings, something like that. Yep. So, I think they're all great. I think they all have great arms. They all have plenty good enough stuff. There's just going to be some look, when you start 15, 16, 18 games over the course of a year, right, like, you're going to go out there with your best stuff, like, 6 of those times. Like, it's not like you don't go out there with your best stuff every time, right? And that's kind of what we saw. Like, Cooper Moore, I don't know that he's got much better stuff than that, but if he does, I can't wait to see it. And the other 2, that there's better stuff out there. Like, it took William Schmidt a little bit, it looked like, to get comfortable with his breaking ball. And Kason Evans, that one weird inning. I mean, how many times do you see 6 batters reach base in a row?
Yeah.
He hits the guy, and then he throws a beautiful changeup, like filthy, like probably 6 inches, 8 inches off the plate, and the kid hits it off the cap right over the third baseman's head for a double. It was kind of one of those weird don't panic outings because, I mean, it was just a weird thing. I don't anticipate Kason Evans allowing 6, 7, 8 base runners to reach consecutively again this season.
The way I kind of termed it, Duggar, was some good, some bad. Overall, a lot to build on going forward for those guys. And, I mean, I'm excited to see him. I'm with you. I have full faith that Kason Evans will harness this role and be a force at the front of LSU's rotation. But because Schmidt, Evans maybe didn't get as deep into the game as you would like week 1, you got to see a lot of bullpen arms, and that's a strength of this team. I mean, Man, the way they mixed and matched, I thought Jay and Nate Yeski had a great plan, especially on Saturday when you needed the big out. You got the big out, whether it was Dax Dothy with that slider or Grant Fontenot coming in at the end, just throwing gas past that young man. Just kind of an overall feel of what you got from the bullpen, because you saw 13 total pitchers for LSU this weekend.
Yeah, don't forget about Sheehan.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 99. I mean, no big deal, right? No, there's some big arms out there. There's plenty of good stuff right now. Can you pitch when it means something? Can you pitch when the pressure's on the line? That's where it usually boils down, the 15 kids down to 7 or 8 kids. And if you have 7 or 8 kids that can go out there and get outs, you can win in Omaha, you can win in this league, you can win anywhere, right? So that's what's left, is to see if these kids from these other schools that haven't quite. I mean, I think the last time Sheehan had pitched was in front of 325 people, something like that. I mean, in some of these cases, like I can remember vividly my first time on the mound against Baylor, and I started an inning. Like, it wasn't coming in with the bases loaded or anything. I just started my own inning, and it was tough for me to get through the warm-ups because I was my knees were like literally weak, and my heart was pounding out of my chest, and I couldn't catch my breath. Right? Like, I don't know, like, but I had 230 junior college innings under my belt.
Yeah.
I wasn't a spring chicken, but I can't imagine some of these guys that had limited time in front of limited people, and then they've been injured for a year, and they come back to this. That's tough. That's really hard to get out there and pitch in front of all those people for the first time. But that gets easier too, right? So overall, I thought it was a pretty dominant performance. Obviously, 49 strikeouts, the most since 1992, which is, almost 40 years ago. Yeah. Crazy. I think they only had 2 walks going into the Sunday game. They walked a few on Sunday to get up to 8 walks or so. So, but still, dominant arms. And then, it's hard to tell offensively because some of the front 3 pitchers for those guys, actually, they didn't have great stuff. They didn't have great arms, but they executed well. They located well. And that's as old as time itself, right? How many times do you hear pitchers say it doesn't matter how hard you throw, it matters how well you throw it, where you want to throw it. And I thought they did that pretty good. So it's kind of hard to tell. Now, Kent State tonight should be a little bit tougher of a matchup, tougher of a team, right? So we'll see what's going on tonight when the Tigers face off against Kent State.
Yeah, the Golden Flashes swept Southeastern and Hammond to open up their season. I want to get to that, but I do want to ask about Gavin Guidry. What did you see from him? Because, Doug, I think him returning from injury is potentially the biggest boost that this pitching staff and this team has this season. And, man, it was electric.
No, it really was. And, he wears number 8, right? I mean, That's a big deal for these guys. And I think it was obviously huge for Gavin Guidry and his family. But for LSU, like for that team, obviously he means something to those players. Obviously, he's a leader in that clubhouse. So to see him come out there and not only pitch, but deal, like 5 out of 6 punch-outs, like all that emotion and energy brings to the table, he was blessing them all the way to the dugout, right? I mean, he was excited, and that's good. That's good energy for your team from a guy like Gavin Guidry. So to answer your question, I thought it was big on many levels that Gavin Guidry went out there and performed so well.
Which newcomer impressed you the most, transfer or freshman, this weekend?
Which newcomer impressed me the most? Let me check out the lineup real quick. And, of course, York's got a chance to be one of the most fun players to ever watch at LSU. Like, every time the kid takes a cut, the entire Alec Box Stadium, when he misses. So he's just a big guy. I think he's pretty charismatic. I think he's going to be a lot of fun this year. So I think he stuck out to a lot of folks, I believe. I know Dardar is not necessarily new, but he is back. And I really like the way that he swung the bat. I mean, I like the way that he played. I mean, he played like a guy that wants to play more. I really enjoy this early part of the season because, all those guys are really competing. I mean, they're all fighting for time. And to do that, they have to produce when they get their opportunities. Speaking of producing when they get the opportunity, how about our local boy, Jack Rucker, 2
Yeah,
for
man.
2 on the weekend in his 2 plate appearances. I mean, that's getting it done, right? I mean, that's a big deal for a freshman. Bunt hit or not, it was a beautiful bunt and a double down the left field line the other way. But that's a lot of pressure to deal with, and to see a kid like that just from right down the street have some success was a lot of fun.
Great hustle from Jack Rucker all weekend, man. He plays the game the right way. I was very impressed with him and happy that he got as many opportunities as he did. All right, Doug, let's talk about tonight briefly, and I'll let you go. What are you expecting to see on the mound? Of course, you're looking for another guy to get a start here, 4 games in 4 days, and just overall a thought on LSU and Kent State here tonight to round out the first weekend to play.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Jaden Newt tonight. And, I'm sure he probably has 75, maybe 80 pitches or so. But there's still some arms down there that probably need to get some work. So I'm just getting to the box, so I'm not really sure who those arms will be. But I do know that I think Jaden Newt will be the guy to get the ball to start it off.
Doug Thompson, LSU Sports Radio Network, of course, former Tiger pitcher, former Tiger great, and national champion on that 97 team. Happy to join us here today. Get him on Twitter at DT9Tigers. Doug, we appreciate the time and the insight, man. Have a great call tonight.
Thank you, Matt. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Anytime. That is Doug Thompson. Catch him on the call tonight, Eagle 98.1. He'll be beside the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair, unless there's a coach's show tonight, which there might be, in which case it would be Patrick Wright. But either way, Doug will be on the call. Big one tonight for LSU against Kent State as they look to close out a 4-game week, 4-0. We have to grab a break, but first, a word from Matt on South Point Volkswagen.
Let me remind you about South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. Man, they always have great deals. The thing I love to tell you about the most with Volkswagen is the style, feel, performance of luxury. Great German engineering, manufactured in the US of A, all the 9 different IIHS top safety picks, so you get the safest vehicles on the road. But my goodness, at South Point, they can make a deal. When you're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, you have better selection, more inventory, and you can give better prices. So, right now, how about $279 a month for 36 months on 2026 Taos? Under $300 a month for a brand new Volkswagen, the compact SUV. $3,000 off 2026 Atlas. Check them out at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
All right, we'll get you a look at the LSU lineup. That'll be posted here probably within the next 15 minutes or so, normally about an hour before first pitch. I'm with Doug. I do think it'll be Jaden Newt on the bump to start the game. Makes a lot of sense. When you look at the arms that are left for LSU that haven't pitched yet, he is the only one with starting experience. So either it would be him or somebody making their first career start. Kind of figured going into the weekend it would either be him or Cooper Williams if they didn't have to use Williams. Of course, they used Williams in the first game of the series, so he threw almost 50 pitches, so I don't think you'll see him tonight. But it'll be interesting to see how they piece that staff together because you haven't seen Reagan Ricken pitch yet. You haven't seen Connor Binge pitch yet. Zion Theophilus is another guy who could make an LSU debut tonight out of the bullpen. And, of course, Jaden Newt. So, and, again, there's guys you could bring back from this weekend as well, guys who pitched on, Friday and Saturday. Could potentially give you something here. But it'll be on display. And, again, a tougher test with Kent State than you probably saw with Milwaukee, but a game that LSU should win. Again, more thoughts on that. We'll give you a look at the lineup when it is posted. For now, we will grab a break, come back on the other side. It is a Lundy Girl edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. We'll wrap up hour 2 next. Stick around.
AFR.
Let's Rev, R-E-V, letsrev.com, letsrev.com. You ever just get super frustrated at super slow internet? Oh, we've all been there, man. The little spinning wheel, slamming your keyboard or your mouse, pounding the desk because it's so frustrating. Your internet's so slow. Storm comes, knocks the power out, knocks the internet out, knocks the cable out. You're so frustrated. Maybe that's just me because I get kind of angry about things. But it's annoying. Nobody wants that to happen. Rev can help. They're local and 5 gigs, lightning fast speeds, and backed by an all-fiber network. Fiber. It's buried under the ground. I mean, you don't have to worry about a storm coming knocking the power lines down. Let's Rev. Listen, more than 70,000 Louisiana homeowners and business owners trust Rev. You should as well. REV. 90 years of local experience. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com.
Is your closet organized? Let's face it, most closets are cluttered and a hassle to organize, but that's just because they aren't designed around your specific needs. One Bath & Closets works closely with you to design your space where it makes sense for you and clears the clutter away. From shoe racks, baskets, seasonal storage, mirrors, drawers, cubbies, and doors, One Bath & Closets can make your dream closet a reality. Go with an industry leader in bathroom and now closet remodeling. Visit onebathandclosets.com to sign up for a free in-home consultation. That's onebathandclosets.com. At Rufino's, dinner is never just dinner. It's a celebration of life. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Rufino's blends Italian flavor with Louisiana soul, serving up perfectly cooked steaks, fresh seafood, and bold, familiar favorites. Executive Chef Patrick Trahan and his team craft every dish with care, and the curated wine list ensures the perfect pairing. Celebrate life, one bite at a time. Book now at rufinosrestaurant.com. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is Ben McDonald with First South Farm Credit. When you're buying or refinancing land, it's important to go with a lender who has experience in financing rural land. That's why I went with First South when I bought my property. And with flexible terms up to 30 years and competitive rates, they can build a loan package that's right for you. Visit them online at firstsouthland.com or stop by one of their branches. Have a cup of coffee and find out why First South is your first call for financing land. firstsouthland.com.
When the shot clock is ticking and the pressure's on, you need all-star performance and a team you can count on. Now, under new ownership, All-Star Automotive delivers a slam dunk car buying experience every time at each of our 12 locations. We're changing the game with a lifetime warranty and complimentary maintenance for a year on all new and most pre-owned vehicles. With great deals and excellent service, you're the MVP at All-Star. Experience the All-Star difference for yourself at allstarautomotive.com.
Don't get caught riding dirty on date night. This Valentine's Day, love the Benny's Club with $14 off your first month on any membership. Available at all 9 Benny's Car Wash locations now through February 22nd. Shop local, shop Benny's.
We know the businesses that keep our communities moving. We walk the same streets, shop the same stores, and support the same local families. Janney King franchise owners take pride in caring for the places they keep our hometown strong. With dependable service, attention to detail, and commitment to doing the things the right way, more businesses are choosing Janney King as their trusted local cleaning partner. Visit JanneyKingCleans.com today.
Janney King, the king of clean.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
ParishGroup.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
We're brought to you by Supper Club. You book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. One of the things about Supper Club that I love is if you want to go to Supper Club and be a baller, you can do it. You want to go to Supper Club and order a $5,000 bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, you can do it. You want to go have $400 shots of cognac, you can do it. You can have experiences at Supper Club that usually are reserved for Las Vegas and New York and Paris and Abu Dhabi. Like, that's here in Baton Rouge. But the thing you got to remember as well, if you want to go to Supper Club and have the best steak of your life and have a few appetizers, a dessert, bottle of wine, you can do it as affordably as any other restaurant in town. But the experience at Supper Club is unmatched. Introduced open seating at the bar, first come, first serve. So if you knock off of work, you want to head by Supper Club, you can walk in without a reservation, see if you can grab a bar stool or a table by the bar as well. Have a great dinner, maybe cocktail, close some business. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
All right, closing out hour number 2. We missed it in the first hour, so we'll go ahead and catch up with it right